Howdy, Hoof here. Welcome back to another episode of me taking a look at the item workshop for TF2. I've only really done this one other time, and in general, I am not extremely knowledgeable with TF2, so keep all that in mind. But if you'd like to hang out and react to some potential workshop items, welcome. Let's take a look. Alright, so it looks like the first item we're looking at has already been accepted into the game. I'm assuming that's why it says accepted, and since it's already been accepted into the game, I suppose there isn't really much to discuss here. But just for the fun of it, I'll put no thanks. Alright, so it looks like we have a taunt here. This is specifically for the demo men. It's called Rock Bottom, and it looks very interesting. I mean, based off the picture here, we can see the demo man is just completely passed out after drinking, it looks like. So let's go ahead and watch a video and see what it's all about. That was a pretty good cinematic, I think. From the perspective of whether or not it would fit in TF2, I really think that it would fit pretty nicely. I think there are already some strange and silly taunts that already exist in the game, so hardly would be distracting, I think. I wonder if there would be any gameplay complications as a result of this, but like I said, I could totally see that being in the game. Let's see what this other video is about. It's just showing the animation again. Yep, and he just sits there and starts napping, it looks like. I do think it's a fun one. Is there any other information here? A loop taunt for demo. Technical information, okay. Not really interested in the technical information. Yeah, I can't really think of any reason why this wouldn't fit in. Animation looks fine. Maybe it could be improved a little bit, but from what I could tell, I think it looks cool. I will vote yes on this. Fixed Medigun's beam. Oh, here we go. So this is a community fix, it looks like. All right, let's take a look at the video of this. I want to see what exactly that'll look like. I see. It just makes it look a little bit more consistent, and I guess it fixes this visual strangeness. I don't know what you'd call that. Honestly, I don't know. Do they ever actually put community fixes in the game? Alright, and they've laid out here in the description the 2 issues with the current Medibeam. I mean, I really don't know what other considerations there would have to be, but based off of the assumption that this wouldn't cause any problems, I have to put yes. So I'm gonna do that. Here we go, we have a pyro cosmetic. It is called the Unknown Warrior, and as you can see here, it looks like another gas mask with a sort of a helmet on top. I wonder if it has any edit styles. Oh, maybe these aren't edit styles. Maybe these are, maybe it's paintable. Now, I'm not a big fan of it being paintable. I've seen a lot of issues with paintable objects. It looks fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this one. It definitely looks like a pyro cosmetic, so I'm not complaining in that area either. And let's see here. The description only says, burn baby. So would I like to see this actually put in TF2? I'm not in love with this cosmetic by any means, but that doesn't necessarily mean it looks bad. And I don't know, maybe I'm not super aware of Pyro, but I feel like Pyro doesn't really have a ton of interest in cosmetics. I don't really think that adding this would make Pyro more interesting, but I am tempted to vote yes, just so Pyro has a little bit more options. I guess I'll do that. Let's throw Pyro a bone here and put yes. Alright, what is this? What is this? This is I don't know what I'm looking at here. This looks a little bit silly to me. This is a soldier cosmetic, and it is headgear. I have no idea what it is that I'm looking at. And I have to say, at the risk of being a little bit dramatic, I do not think that this looks good visually. There's something about the way that it's shaped. The shapes on the actual cosmetic look a little bit strange to me too. And above everything else, I don't even understand what this is supposed to be. Is this a reference to something that I'm not aware of? It's called infantry. Maybe this is some sort of reference that I'm not understanding. Prepare to die is what it says. Well, maybe there's someone in the comments who will be able to explain what this is a reference to, but I would pass on this one. I'm not trying to be rude here, but I have to pass on this one. Kung Fu Pounder. Okay, so my thoughts on this initially are that this does not look that great in comparison to other cosmetics that probably exist in TF2 already. But let's take a look at the video. We'll give it a solid chance. Oh, this isn't a video. This is some sort of 3D model, but it says that the model is deleted. So yeah, I'm gonna say that Kung Fu Pounder is not really up to snuff. Let's see. The description here says, feel the lightning and the thunder. It just looks really flat from here. And I don't know. I think that there are other animal looking cosmetics that already exist, and they look a lot better than this, unfortunately. So I'm gonna vote no on that one. Croquet Mallet, a pyro arrow weapon. It is a melee weapon, it looks like, and it looks interesting, but the thing that I'm not understanding is why it looks, quality-wise, I don't think that it matches with TF2, just based off of some of these screenshots here. A little bit less noticeable when you're looking at it from third person, but even here, it looks a little bit more cel-shaded almost. I think TF2 used to have cel-shading, but this is a little bit, am I crazy or is that what I'm seeing? I mean, if you look here, just something about that doesn't feel like it matches to me. I do like this idea though, I will say, and I'm assuming that it would just be like a weapon reskin as opposed to a full-on new weapon with new stats. From that perspective, I could totally consider voting yes, assuming that it would be visually improved upon. But as is, I would have to say a no. Solid no on that. And let's see, we have a description here. The Croquet Mallet. A new bloody weapon acquired by Pyro while trespassing at a wealthy country club. He didn't like what he saw and started a killing spree. Completely destroyed the mallet, splintering one end. Had to secure the top part as well, nailing it as he could in the adrenaline of the moment. Well, I do think it's neat that it has a little bit of lore attached to it, but that's probably the only thing that sticks out to me right now. So I'm gonna have to say no thanks. Luggage. All right, this looks a little bit, what's the word I'm thinking of? I'm trying to think of the word. What word am I thinking of here? Obnoxious. I think it's a little bit obnoxious for my taste. I mean, initial reaction, my knee-jerk reaction to this is that it's a solid no for me. Based off of the art style and the quality of the model and all of that, I don't think that it matches TF2. I also think that it's just oddly shaped. Now, maybe this is supposed to be sniper related, like he keeps his rifle in there, but then you add on these colors here, and I think that's a little bit too much for me. The one positive thing I will say though is that I do enjoy the idea of it. It's just execution wise, there's not a lot for me to enjoy with it. I'm gonna say no. The main gun, old, and it looks like a helmet that looks like a tank. Seems low poly to me. Alright, well, let's take a look at the new version then. Even the updated version I'm not a huge fan of. I guess I can see why this would be interesting, but I really don't like the shape, although I understand that it's supposed to be like a tank or something like that. It's a fun idea, but for me, I'm okay. We have here the body bag's unusual effect. Now, I do kind of wish that there was a video or something, because I don't really understand how this works. Yeah, let's see, the description here says, this unusual effect is a red rain cloud, raining down blood with corpse chalk outlines raining down with the blood. Show your enemies how fierce you are by letting them know how many enemies you have placed in body bags. Alright, I'm a bit surprised here. My initial reaction is to reject this pretty intensely. However, after hearing the description and thinking about the vision that this person is going for, I'm somewhat open to it. Now, I'm not going to vote yes, because what it is right now, I mean, first of all, we don't even have a video, so I can't vote in good conscience yes without seeing a video. But I'm going to guess that it doesn't look that great just based on what I'm seeing right now. However, I do like this idea, and I think it does have potential. So I'm going to say no thanks, but I really am interested in seeing this get updated. I think there potentially could be a way that this could work. It just really depends on the execution of this item, because this whole body bag situation, there's probably some way to do it, but I don't really know much about unusual effects, let alone how to execute one properly. Anyways, idea seems very interesting, but I have to say no. Trefoil, to me this looks a little bit ugly. I don't like how big it is. I don't like the color of it. Let's see what the description has to say. I can add all the classes if you want. I don't want that. I don't want this added to the game. Maybe if it were a bit smaller, I would excuse it, but as it is right now, personally, not a huge fan of this at all. I'm gonna say no. Alright, we have here Fear It. It is a soldier headgear, and I think I understand what this is in reference to. Could this possibly be in reference to the game Hatred? I mean, it seems possible that that's not what it's a reference to. I mean, Hatred didn't create this hairstyle, greasy looking long hair type of look, so I think that's possibly, it's possible that it's a reference to Hatred, but it could also just be this general archetype of person here. I think it's very entertaining. I think it's very funny, and unironically, I don't think it changes too much about the soldier, but I don't want to vote yes on that. It doesn't interest me personally. I could see it being in the game though, kinda. The model looks like it needs to be improved, but funnily enough, it does kind of look funny with the soldier, so it does have a little bit of silliness to it, but I'm gonna say no. I can't vote yes on that. Oh, and that did it. I guess that was everything. Well, it was an interesting bunch of items to go through this time around. I think it actually is pretty fun doing stuff like this. So let me know if you have any thoughts on how I can make these videos better. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, check out my Patreon. There is a $3 tier which gives you access to patron exclusive videos, and there's also a free tier to be updated on what I'm up to. Thank you. Goodbye.